I need you to do me a huge favor.
Now, back to Steiny and Guru on 95.7 The Game.
Hey, it's Tiger.
All righty.
Do we know what the favor was?
To, I think, delete something.
My wife went through my phone.
Oh, man. How's he doing, by the way?
Not good.
Oh, boy.
He's done.
All right. Oh, no.
He's kind of like Klay Thompson.
No, he didn't. Well, no, he got injured.
Done.
Well,
no, I kid, Warrior fans. I kid. But Goo thinks that Klay Thompson coming back. We'll see.
yeah, my boy Squirt, like, oh, you guys desperate for content. He just said he's got a 2-year contract, nothing to see here. It's nuance, man. He's saying it with that energy and zest, like, this thing's coming to an end. Enjoy every ounce of Warrior basketball with the big three, and hopefully we'll be able to do more of that when we find out if Klay's staying.
All right. Here's what I want to talk about. So if you haven't heard, Scottie Scheffler, the world's number one golfer, was arrested before he went to play his round of golf today at the PGA Championship, which is a major. So there was an accident outside the golf course, and it stalled traffic, and it caused, I guess, chaos and confusion. And Scottie Scheffler arrived at the course to work out. It was very early in the morning because it was still dark. It must have been about 5:30. And apparently he was told to stop by a police officer when he attempted to go around the scene, I believe. Mm-hmm. You'll get more detail in a second. And apparently the police officer told Scheffler to stop. Scheffler didn't. And the officer had his arm either inside the car or he was attached to the car. Boy. And Scheffler apparently drug him 10 yards, yeah. and the officer suffered abrasions and swelling. So Scheffler got arrested for a couple misdemeanors, but also a felony assault.
Damn.
And let me play Jeff Darlington. Now, Jeff Darlington was right there. He was literally standing next to this scene describing it, and he's an ESPN reporter. So here are all the details and what happened, according to Jeff Darlington, right when it happened. Take a listen.
Entering Valhalla Golf Club this morning, we witnessed a car pull around us that was Scottie Scheffler was in the car. To be very clear about the details here, Scottie Scheffler has been detained by police officers, placed in the back of a police vehicle in handcuffs after he tried to pull around what he believed to be security, ended up being police officers. They told him to stop. When he didn't stop, the police officer attached himself to the vehicle. Scheffler then traveled another 10 yards before stopping the car. The police officer then grabbed at his arm, attempting to pull him out of the car before Scheffler eventually opened the door, at which point the police officer pulled Scheffler out of the car, pushed him up against the car, and immediately placed him in handcuffs. Scheffler was then walked over to the police car, placed in the back in handcuffs, very stunned about what was happening, looked toward me as he was in those handcuffs and said, "Please help me." He very clearly did not know what was happening in the situation. It moved very quickly, very rapidly, very aggressively. He was detained in that police vehicle for approximately 20 minutes. The police officers at that point did not understand that Scottie Scheffler was a golfer in the tournament, nor, of course, that he is the number one player in the world.
All right, so those are details provided by Jeff Darlington. And Rand, I want to get right to this tweet because this is at the heart of it. This is what I want to discuss. On the YouTube chat, Randy Brunling. Who knows what the truth is in this Scheffler thing? I've read where eyewitnesses said Scheffler didn't do anything wrong, and there's witnesses that said he did. I'm adding the last part.
Okay.
But that's the question. When something like this happens, who gets the benefit of the doubt and who doesn't? Like, what were your thoughts when you heard this and you tried to decipher what happened?
we're partners in family, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to be real. When I hear detained, arrested, and driving and a cop injured, I would just tell Scottie Scheffler, you're lucky. And because of the color of your skin, you can get away with that. Had he had my skin complexion or had he been a minority, Steiny, who knows where this thing would have went. But I know Scottie Scheffler, from what I know, has not been in trouble before.
Right.
So to answer your question, I don't control who gets the benefit of the doubt, but what's in the file does matter. But what's alarming to me is everything that's described, there was a situation.
Right.
A cop is hurt, and there was a fatality in the accident that he had nothing to do with.
That's important.
So I do believe he was going to work, but at the end of the day, one, had that been a minority and you're driving away and the cops are hanging onto your car trying to stop it, I mean, just where does this thing go? And it does reek of privilege, because the worst part to me, and I'm not trying to judge anything, but how could the PGA let him make his tee time? You got arrested. You went to the clean.
Well, I think it's the police that got him out of there in time so he could make his tee time.
And that's my point, was should the tee time have even kicked off? And that's,
well, or should he have missed it just because?
So Scheffler got the benefit of the doubt today. The fact that this went down, we don't know all the specifics, but there was an incident with the police and you were arrested and you still make your tee time. Now, I'm reaching. Bad defense.
Actually, you're not.
Draymond Green.
You're not reaching.
He wouldn't have had no tee. It would have been canceled. Patrick Beverly, it would have been Mike Tyson. So you asked me, and that's what's coming out. And again, I don't think Scheffler did anything wrong, but be Scheffler to where I can get into it. I can evade the police. If it's a mini version of it, I can even get arrested. But guess what, baby? I'm getting the benefit of the doubt, and I'm going to make my tee time.
How do you get the benefit of the doubt? 888-957-9570. When you hear Scottie Scheffler, he talks a lot about his faith. He talks a lot about his family. He talks a lot about how golf is secondary in his life to the more important things. I think he gets the benefit of the doubt. But I do agree. If Draymond Green is coming to a Warrior game and it's 3 or 4 hours before a Warrior game and that were to happen,
my gosh.
Forget about what the police do. But there's no doubt I would be looking at that and probably not give Draymond Green the benefit of the doubt because of his history.
And everybody on Twitter would do the same thing.
Right.
And then when we found out Dre was innocent, you never double back and fix it. It's like you're guilty in the court of public opinion, Steiny. And nowadays, nobody goes back and try to fix it and say, you know what? We smeared Steiny's name. We thought, but I don't understand why. And can I make a confession?
Yeah.
Everything in this world now is a meme. If you get in trouble or slip and fall, there's a meme. If you cheat on your spouse or do the wrong thing, why do we love making fun of people's episodes? Because that's what we'll call this. Scheffler may be super innocent, Steiny, but this was an episode. There was an arrest. Why does the internet like to have fun with trials and tribulations of others? And I was doing it. We were laughing, and I wasn't trying to, but I got to keep it real, Steiny. Tiger Woods, when he hit the tree, Christmas.
Yep. Yeah, everybody made fun of him. Everybody made fun of him. And the part of this that's important, and you brought it up, but I want to stress it, is the reason there was all this confusion and traffic outside Valhalla, which is where the golf tournament is because there was an accident involving a pedestrian, and the pedestrian died.
Man.
So all the cops that were on the scene, or the security that was on the scene, knew that somebody had died, and Scheffler had no idea that anybody had died.
Got it.
And the fact that somebody died probably had the police feeling a certain kind of way about the seriousness of what was going on. And I got to believe when Scheffler went around, it wasn't just him going around a pothole that they had a yellow orange cone in. You know, it was an investigation scene probably, and that's what the
And he's going Kevin Durant in his mind. You know who I am, not knowing there was a death.
I don't think he did that. I don't think Scheffler did that. And listen, this is what I'm talking about, everybody. I don't think Scheffler pulled the "Do you know who I am" card. Right. Now, why am I assuming that? I wasn't there. Why am I assuming?
He's never been in trouble.
Because I'm giving him the benefit. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
And the other thing is when he gets handcuffed, he looks over to the reporter and he says, "Please help me."
I saw that.
To me, if you're asking the reporter to please help you, it means that you didn't go the "Hey, I'm Scottie Scheffler" route. Because if you go the "Hey, do you know who I am" route, you don't need help from a reporter. So that's another thing that I assume and give him the benefit of the doubt about, that he didn't pull that card.
But you went 10 feet with the police officer trying to get you to stop your vehicle.
And that's where I say allegedly.
Yeah, no, gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
And some people standing on the other end of that don't get that escort like he got to go handcuffed and treated with respect. You know, I'm not trying to make it something it's not, Steiny, but had somebody else with a different color skin to me, that could have popped off all kind of different ways. Just me going the 10 feet allegedly with the cop who got apparently injured.
Yeah. 888-957-9570 is the number. And the question is, who gets the benefit of the doubt?
Damn.
When an incident like this happens, I mean, I was doing something I was looking up some info on the Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay.
Just because of the schedule stuff and reading stuff. And, Rashee Rice.
Oh, you could see what he did. Right.
He got in an accident. And I don't know, do we give him the benefit of the doubt? Do they give him the benefit of the doubt in Kansas City? I don't know anything about Rashee Rice. Right. We're going to hear from Alden Smith later on in the show.
He lost the benefit of the doubt.
Exactly.
Because he was his own worst enemy. And, like you said, we'll play the sound.
Yeah, and I'm...
if you mess up, Steiny, I think you lose the benefit of the doubt.
But how many times do you have to mess up?
I don't have that answer.
And the other thing that hit me was, I don't know why this name popped up, but it popped up probably because she's as famous as anyone. That was Caitlin Clark. I'm just trying to envision this happening to different people. Now, the part about the dragging the cop
is
a little disconcerting if you're giving him the benefit of the doubt.
But if that really happened, you're like, oh, boy.
But it's just amazing the way you hear about it. And maybe I'm saying I hear about it, and I'm thinking, Scottie Scheffler wouldn't do that, would he? Well,
but he made
we don't know Scottie Scheffler.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, Scottie Scheffler may be the biggest phony on planet Earth.
But do you understand how some could be turned off that he didn't self-impose, you know what, maybe I don't, because I went down and got arrested, even though it's a misunderstanding, there was a death, and the news outlets are running with it. You know what, Steiny, I mean this. Maybe the best thing for me is not to go out maybe we delay my tee time.
Well, that can't happen.
I know, but that means the game is more important than what popped off.
But hold on.
The turning.
To be clear, they did do a delay. There was like an hour plus delay after this whole thing.
But the delay was because of the death in the pedestrian accident.
But there was a delay nonetheless.
Correct. Right. So he got an extra hour because of that.
Yeah.
But
let me ask you, would you have golfed? Would you have said, you know what, I'm going to make my tee time?
Yes.
Yeah.
If I got out in time, absolutely. Now, they're not going to, you can't push his tee time back.
Gotcha. You're done.
But that's the thing. If his tee time was 10:40 and this thing happened at 6 or 7, I mean, is it fair to ask, would another person have been able to get out of there that fast to conduct the rest of their day?
Totally fair.
I don't know.
Fair.
I mean, I got to believe once he got to the station, they figured out who Scottie Scheffler was and what he did, and they probably figured out when his tee time was. And that's the question I'm asking. To me, he got the benefit of the doubt. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt, even though there's some of the reports here that I'm not liking. Like the part that he
dragged the cop.
If he dragged a police officer 10 to 20 yards, and the police officer's hanging on, well, then I'm with you. He shouldn't have been able to play in the tournament.
Yeah, and some people get assaulted.
We don't know that.
If they tried that.
So 888-957-9570 is the number if you want to jump in. There's a million angles to this, and you can take any one you want.
How big of a story is this, you think, for him? For
huge.
Okay.
This is a monster story.
All right.
Because more and more details are going to come out. I got to believe a video will eventually come out.
So is tomorrow, his tee time tomorrow, in jeopardy?
I don't know. No, his next day in court is Tuesday, the day after the tournament, 2 days after the tournament's over. Let's go to John. John is in Ocean Beach. What's going on, John? How you doing?
Hey, guys. How are you?
Hey.
I just wanted to chime in. I know you're talking about, it's minority issue. What if it was Tiger? Would they let Tiger just roll through? So
that's a great question.
And it's valid as hell.
What's that?
I said it's valid to even bring that up. I don't have the answer, but you're right to bring it up. I don't think you're wrong.
Because, I think you said specifically if it was a minority, what would happen.
Yeah, man.
But if it was Tiger Woods, he still makes the tee time, right?
What about Draymond?
See, there's your answer.
See?
You're laughing.
See?
But yeah, that's what I mean. We mean.
Appreciate
Draymond would probably be still Steiny. I'm laughing, but I'm not.
Well, I think again.
And he wouldn't have the benefit of the doubt either.
I don't care what anybody says. These are the kind of assumptions you make when something like this happens.
When you put yourself in a situation.
Like if he asked, what if it were Tiger Woods? So I think to myself, well, if it were Tiger Woods, they would have recognized him. Oh. Everybody would have recognized Tiger Woods. I think it's very possible they had no idea who Scottie Scheffler was.
And that would have made a difference?
I don't know. I don't know. Here's the second part of Jeff Darlington's report, and this is basically sound from the incident. It's kind of muffled, but take a listen.
Guys.
Dude, step back. Back up.
I'm back.
Telling reporters to step away from the scene.
You're game one, right?
Yeah, that's a 15.
Scheffler's out of the car now.
Guys.
What do we do?
I'm staying back.
Here's the thing. Right now, he's going to jail.
Okay.
He's going to jail, and it ain't nothing you can do about it. Period. There's nothing you can do about it.
Okay.
Okay. Now, do you have
First,
questions?
I'm media. I'm a reporter. Okay. So that's all.
That's fine.
I just want to make sure that's
okay.
known.
But you need to step back over here now.
No problem. You got it.
Okay.
All right, that was the police officer. I'm not sure if it was the one who was involved or not. I actually don't think it was.
So he's going to jail like he was happy. It ain't nothing you can do about it. Wow, that's boy.
That's the part.
A new top one. Right.
That's the part that's interesting. I mean, it's clear that those guys had no idea who Scheffler was. But the question is, if they would have known who Scheffler was, would they just have let him go?
It doesn't sound like they would, but he drugged somebody, Steiny. He knew who he was, allegedly.
Well, wait a minute.
But if he did, your ass shouldn't be in the thing tomorrow. That's where I think this is it picking up steam like that if things come out more that, he was being an ass. And Steiny, maybe he was not at all. But, man, when you say he's getting arrested, you did something, and it's not just evading the accident or going around.
Yeah. Let's go to Jamie is in Sunnyvale. What's up, Jamie? How you doing, man?
I'm okay. I got to tell you, I really don't like the whole racial. I think 9 times out of 10 it isn't that. But I got to tell you, and it's kind of funny as well, if this guy what kind of world is it if this guy could get arrested felony, and who knows if he was being a jerk or not?
What?
Felony, probably didn't recognize him. If he was Tiger Woods, maybe, if some recognizable. But you know what? If you can get arrested in the morning on a felony charge and still make your tee time, that's something's going on. That tells you there's a lot of stuff that goes on.
Right.
That's not right.
Yeah, Steiny, so you kind of, real quick, you brought up they maybe didn't know him, but maybe when it was all said and done, they knew him to the point to where he got back and made his tee time and, they put his fall to the front. It's just a thought.
Well, you want to know a thought from me?
Yeah.
And this is why I love you, because I can bring this up to you. That cop on the second one,
I pictured him right now.
I got to believe he was black.
Yeah, he was.
Okay, so does that factor into it at all? That the cop was black and Scheffler was white? If you brought race in, I'm just curious.
That didn't cross my mind.
Okay.
But the energy of that cop is one that he was happy, whether it was black or white, that he got, and Steiny, he sounds so PO'd that something happened to his brother. The cop that got injured, that guy knows him, and I think that's why he had that energy like he's going to jail. Well, I think nothing you can do about it.
I think he also might have had that energy because he knew somebody died, and it was a very serious situation, and Scheffler didn't know it, and he just casually maybe drove around, and the cop was like, what are you doing? This is a serious thing we got to deal with, and you're messing it up. So, I don't know. I mean,
what if I told you it's not a good look he teed off? In hindsight, Scheffler.
Yeah, but who's it a bad look? Oh, Scheffler.
Yeah, just the PGA. Like, they should have stopped it. And if you lost or couldn't win...
But wait a minute. If you're the PGA,
the incident happened.
But he just shows up. Like, the PGA didn't get him out of jail.
Yeah.
He just made his tee time. What does the PGA care if he got a speeding ticket, essentially, even though it was more than that, on the way home? I mean, to me, it's a bad look for the police and law enforcement.
Not if they feel they got a Samaritan that drug a police officer.
I mean, but what happened between he's going to jail, okay, and there's nothing you can do about it, to he makes his tee time. He made his tee time. I mean, we know what's going on here, right? I mean, right?
Yeah, we do.
888-957-9570.
Real quick.
Yeah.
You said drug. I think it's dragged. He dragged the police officer, because when you say you drug him, it insinuates something else.
Good catch.
I just want to clarify real quick. There was no drugs involved here.
Well,
good for him.
This is...
I think he's in a little trouble.
There is a word, drug.
Yeah.
It's the past of drag. I believe it's acceptable as dragged.
Clarification purposes, yes.
Okay. I got you. Yeah, he wasn't drugged. He was dragged.
Dragged, there.
Yes. Okay. I appreciate that, Spino. So 888-957-9570
you can do about it.
is the number. And, there's so many facets to this. I'm just wondering if our listeners have interest in this or they've got feelings about it, because it's highly unusual for something like this to happen. It's Scottie Scheffler, the family man.
Who you say is rather quiet and not a big personality,
Not a big personality at all.
He did ask for help.
Not a big personality at all. I mean, the bottom line is, if you ask me, like, this is what I'm talking about is, Steiny, do you know Scottie Scheffler? I'm like, I don't know anything about Scottie Scheffler, but he doesn't seem like the guy who would say, do you know who I am? There are other guys where I think, well, he's probably the guy who said, do you know who I am? All right, 888-957-9570 is the number. We can talk more about this Scottie Scheffler thing on the other side if you want. That segment was brought to you by Safeway.
Head to Safeway this week for these great digital deals. Lose